Welcome, everyone. So we do want to start and talk just briefly about exploring your future with our computer tech degrees here at Excelsior University. Talk about it, then answer any questions you might have along the way. So,
And there are two gyms. Which one is the right gym?
great question. Which one am I?
You are the right gym. You are the department chair.
Yes, I am the department chair for IT, cybersecurity, and computer science. Um, yeah, that's who I am. So,
And we have Tatum joining us as well. Tatum, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, hello. I'm an admissions counselor here at Excelsior. Often, first point of contact when folks call in, help you pick a degree, go over credit evaluations, answer any questions about careers in the future. Um, and we work together all the way until you register. And then after that is when you start working with advising. So if you have any questions on how to get started or apply, I'm your guy.
And I am not the second James Tippey. I am Carrie Pryor. I'm the Associate Dean of the School of Technology, and I'm here to start this live today. Thanks so much for joining us.
So just a little bit about Excelsior, right? Excelsior University is an accredited not-for-profit distance learning education founded back in 1971, focused on providing educational opportunities primarily for adult learners, with an emphasis on those who are historically underrepresented um, in higher education. Excelsior meets students where they are academically and geographically, offering quality instruction and assessment of learning. So that's a little bit about who we are as an institution. We'll talk a little bit about some of our degree programs. So we have everything in the Department of Computer Technologies, right? So we have everything from our associate's degree programs up through our master's degree programs. And you see those listed here on the slide. So we have an Associates of Arts um, in Computer Technologies, focuses on foundational computer technologies, equips you with those essential technical skills for getting started in the workforce. We have a number of bachelor's degree programs within the computer tech industry. We have a BS in cyber, focusing specifically around cybersecurity and those elements of securing our digital systems and making sure they are not attacked or otherwise disrupted by malicious intent. We have a BS in information technology, broad range of IT topics, including cyber, but moving beyond cyber, networking, information systems, and how these work within an organization or company. We have our BS in computer science, which is about a year old now. And this is focused around comprehensive education in computer science, programming, algorithms, AI, data management. This is the hardcore computer science stuff that's building our new next generation computer systems in the back ends. We have a BPS in IT management, which is focused around technology and leadership and working together towards that. And then we have our master's in cybersecurity, where we take the cybersecurity degree to the next level of a master's degree. Benefits of attendance. Here's some just quick benefits for all, across all of Excelsior, right? Free application. There's no application fee. We maximize transfer credit. We are good at taking all that prior learning that you've done elsewhere and helping maximize getting it into your degree program. We have flexible 8-week courses that start every 8 weeks throughout the year. So there's 6 start times throughout the year. It is asynchronous learning, instructional accreditation, program accreditation, and we are a yellow ribbon program for veterans. So make your knowledge count, right? Like I said, we'll take those credit, take your prior learning and make it count for you, whether that's courses from other schools, military training, those certificates, programs or training that you've done elsewhere, occupational licensure, college level exams, all sorts of prior learning. We got some folks that work with us to help do that prior learning assessment to help maximize that learning that you've done prior to coming to Excelsior so we can accelerate your pathway towards a degree. a little bit more about each of our programs here. So we'll start with the Associates of Applied Science in Computer Technology. Again, that's the focus on those foundational tech skills, equipping you with essential technical skills to enter the workforce. It includes courses in information technology, a little bit of cybersecurity, just associate's degree, just getting you ready to enter that workforce with your first degree. Our BPS and IT management, focused on IT leadership and technical management, really preparing people to align technology with organizational goals. So we're covering project coordination, business and technology strategies, and getting you ready to step in and be that leader for IT in whatever organization you happen to find yourself in. Bachelor's of Science in Cyber. We are designated as a National Center of Academic Excellence in Cyber Defense. So that's by the Department of Defense. It's not an accrediting body, but a reviewing body that looks at the curriculum and says, yes, this meets our standards. So it gives us that gold star standard seal. Our concentrations currently are in cyber operations. So how do you work and how do you do cybersecurity? And then a general concentration that pulls from a few different options to allow you to build a little bit more of a unique cyber program. But again, it's all about securing those assets and how do we protect and defend against the malicious actors out there to help thwart and protect company and personal assets. Bachelor's in Information Technology is ABET accredited. This is an external accrediting body that, again, looks at our regularly reviews and looks at our curriculum and programs and says, you're meeting the standard, you're doing a good job. So our BS in IT has concentrations in cybersecurity. So you get a good, strong IT grounding and then a few courses in cybersecurity. We have a concentration in network operations, which is focused on networking. And then the general concentration that, again, pulls from a variety of things to build a more rounded, more general concentration. And then our BS in computer science, which, as I said earlier, is that deep theory, big program. When you think of computers, sometimes people think of computer science. Here's where we get deep into our artificial intelligence and data science, software development, and then cloud computing and networking. And these are our 4 concentrations you can choose from within computer science that can help shape the future of what computers might look like in the future. And so we list these out, right? And every one of the questions we commonly get is, so what's the difference, right? So this gets really confusing, right? And it is. And this can be an ongoing conversation. And I've written extensively about what the differences are. But this little graphic here begins to show us some of the differences between cybersecurity, IT, and computer science. And at the end, it shows that there's an overlap, right? There's a common core that flows through them all. There's different aspects that they focus on. If you're really into how do I defend, how do I protect against those malicious actors, cybersecurity's got you covered. If you really want to get in there and you want to work in the systems and you want to help companies meet their objectives and their goals, IT may be the place for you. If you're wanting to get in there and do deep software development and build the new technology of the future, that may be more computer science. There's a lot of overlap, a lot of melding around, as you can see in this image, but that's kind of where each individual degree program there at the bachelor's level begins to find its unique place. And they all do have a unique place within our larger computer technology world and within the larger world as a whole. But we don't stop with just the tech, with just the ones and zeros. We have some really key courses we want to talk about. One of those is Tech 231, Navigating Technology Careers, Concepts, and Roles. I got to go out of order. But anyway, this is one of our signature courses in the computer tech programs. IT, cyber, and computer science all take this course in your first year. And the goal really here is to help us begin to explain and unpack what each of these 3 things are, so you can find where you identify your strengths and align with the broader tech ecosystem. and to make sure you're in the right place. We'll help you try to decide the best we can beforehand, but we understand there's a lot going on. So this unpacks a little bit deeper than what I can do in these few minutes tonight about what each of these are, and help you get a little bit of a sense, a little bit of feel, hear from some people in the field, read some articles about each of the three fields, and begin to unpack and better understand what's going on, so we understand the concepts, roles, and careers in each of these three very unique areas within computer technology. Then we get to the master's degree, and our master's is in cybersecurity. It's an advanced program focusing on cyber leadership, policy, and technical expertise, currently offering two concentrations, one being information assurance and the other being a general concentration. And this is where you build those beyond bachelor's level skills in cybersecurity to be a leader in the field of cybersecurity. So your career in computer technologies can start with a bachelor's degree, right? How do we get into the field quickly, become a software technician, computer specialist, can build into your bachelor's degree where you might be a software engineer, systems or database administrator. You might be at the comp sci level, that business systems analyst or a software developer, computer scientist. In the cyber arena, you might be a cyber analyst or cyber engineer, maybe a network security administrator, bachelor's of professional studies in IT management, technology team lead, and then the master's degree, network exploitation analyst, maybe CISO, maybe cybersecurity manager. So this kind of gives you an idea of some of the careers that flow out of the various degrees that we've been talking about here tonight. Certainly not an exhaustive list of careers, but a beginning picture. So one of the key things, however, that we do want to do throughout all of these programs, across all 6 programs, is really to move beyond the ones and zeros. And what we mean by this is the technical elements are vital and essential to your degree, and we certainly do teach those across every course. And so you get your technical pieces, but we want to go beyond just the technical, and we want to make sure you're beginning to be equipped to wrestle with those larger questions, those big ethical questions, those big societal questions, those big social impacts, responsibility questions, when it comes to things, what are those big questions? What are those things that are happening in the world around us? And how do we begin to answer those questions so that when something comes up, when the new project comes up, we can stop and say, have you thought about whatever it is that maybe the room isn't stopping to think about? Have you considered, who's not at the table? Are we talking about the right people? I had the fun this afternoon, probably not the right word, right? Experiencing a Starlink outage. And as I sit there watching this going on around the global outage, what did we stop? What happened? I don't know yet. It just came back up, right, as I was jumping on this call. But those are some of the big questions that we come back to then, is what did happen and how do we prevent it from happening again? When you're rolling out these big global IT solutions, what are all the pieces we need to think about? And they are big and they are many, and we may not have the answers, but we can start to think the critical thinking skills and develop those critical thinking skills, those systems thinking skills that can help us begin to assess and evaluate when we're in meetings or when we're facing challenges in the workplace ahead of us. So we want to move beyond the ones and zeros while still making sure we cover them in all that we do in our classes. So here we talk also ethical workers. So this is one of our professional incentives, right? Ethical workers who understand and implement DEI and social justice principles contribute to more innovation, productive, and equitable workplace and products, ultimately driving better business outcomes and social benefits, right? This is what we want our students to be able to do, is be that valuable employee. This is what our graduates are. They are those valuable employees that help to drive better business outcomes and societal benefits. So that's kind of one of our goals here in all of our programs. One of our other courses we have that all of our School of Technology, we'll take all of our School of Technology students take, whether you're in the engineering technology side of the house or the computer technology side of the house, is we start with Tech 230, where we really want to begin introducing and unpacking these concepts of technology and society. How do these begin to interact with each other? And in what ways can you begin to understand the ethical and societal dilemmas framing our technical world. We all know technology is impacting the world, it seems, more and more every day. But how do we begin then to unpack the pieces of tech and society, and where do they intersect, and where do they benefit from each other, and where do they maybe have that rub, that hard spot where we need to still work through things. Upon completion, students can critically evaluate the implications of technology on society. That is vital for our students as they become the tech leaders of tomorrow. And finally, questions, we can talk, right? You got my email address here. I'm the department chair, Jim Tippey. My admissions, we have our admissions counselor on here. We have a military admissions email address there if you're interested in the military side of things. And our international admissions is listed here. At this time, we'll pause. If you have questions, please throw them in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. And it's easy to get started, right? So your next step, there we go, admissions or a phone number. Reach out. But if you have questions tonight, we'd love to try to answer them for you. If anyone else on the call has anything to share, please feel free to share that too.
As we're in a webinar, you may not be able to speak immediately. You may either need to raise your hand or put your question into the webinar chat, and we can moderate it from there.
One thing that I think is, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Please go ahead.
I was going to say one thing I personally always find important to emphasize is that while coming in with a background, of any of these topics is helpful, it's certainly not required. If you coming in from scratch, like we're here to teach you from scratch, just from basic math all the way to cybersecurity. But if you do have experience in the field, there's all sorts of certificates and trainings that can come in as credit to kind of help speed you through the process. We've got lots of information on our website for the Get Started with More Credit page. Or if you're ever confused and need to figure out how to send those in, you can always give us a call too.
Exactly. And we are, right? The program is built to take you from where you are to where you want to be. That really is part of our goal and part of Excelsior's mission, right? To meet students where they are, geographically and academically. But we want to meet you where you are and help you meet your goals along the way. So most definitely.
We'll stay on for a few minutes. If you have questions for admissions or for the department chair, we're available in the chat. And of course, you have the contact information below where we're very happy to speak to you. But we really look forward to seeing your classes sometime soon. Have a wonderful morning, noon, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you're located in the world. It was great to have you here today. Thank you.